On 31st July 2024, Ismail Haniyeh, the chief of Hamas, was assassinated in Iran's Tehran. Ever since that day, Israel has been bracing for an attack from the Axis of Resistance, which is an Iran-controlled group in the Middle East. This because Iran has blamed Israel for the attack on the Hamas leader and accused the United States of supporting Israel in this act. The assassination has threatened to unleash another wave of violence in the Middle East and upend the negotiations to end the Gaza war. Now the war is at a critical juncture. If Iran does launch a full-fledged attack on Israel, and they have pretty much threatened to retaliate, it will have long-lasting implications, both geopolitically and economically.
جمهوری اسلامی ایران در استفاده از حق ذاتی خود مبتنی بر اصول و قواعد و قوانین و مقررات حقوق بین الملل در تأمین امنیت خود و تنبیه متجاوز حتما اقدام جدی.
Let's first look at what happens economically. On 5th August itself, Israel and Middle East markets crashed on fears of retaliation from Iran and Hezbollah and other global factors. If the standoff escalates, global markets will feel the effects. The biggest repercussions will be on oil and commodity markets. Any significant military escalation could disrupt supplies, causing fluctuations in oil prices. The Middle East is a critical hub for oil production, and any effect there will send ripple effects, especially in countries like India and China, which rely on imported oil. Any escalation could also lead to economic sanctions from various ends, which can lead to a broader trade confrontation at a time when there are already recessionary fears. For India, while the markets have digested earlier conflicts, experts say that Iran entering this conflict can wreak havoc if crude oil supplies are disrupted. However, experts say that Indian markets are in a stronger position since domestic investments are robust and there's liquidity in the system. Now let's look at what happens geopolitically. There's essentially three things. First, the war will enter a wholly new phase. The Middle East will descend into a deeply conflict-ridden territory with complicated roots. Arab states that had previously normalized ties with Israel may face a diplomatic dilemma in balancing relations with US and Israel, but yet standing by the Palestinian cause. Non-state actors and groups like Hezbollah may tie up stronger with Hamas to retaliate. It will also impact how global powers engage with the region. The US will face growing pressure to balance its support for Israel but also bring stability to the region, and they may get backlash from Arab nations for Palestinian rights. It may also be an opportunity for China and Russia to expand their influence in the Middle East. Both the countries have supported Iran and opposed US policies in the Middle East, and this will add a new dimension to the polarization in the region. The US, meanwhile, says they are working round the clock to prevent any escalation.
All parties must take steps to ease tensions. Escalation is not in anyone's interests. It will only lead to more conflict, more violence, more insecurity. It's also critical that we break this cycle by reaching a ceasefire in Gaza. That in turn will unlock possibilities for more enduring calm, not only in Gaza itself, but in other areas where the conflict could spread. So for the United States, for many other countries,
if or when Iran actually retaliates is something the whole world is cautiously watching for. Hope you found this informative. For more such content, keep watching Mint.